is Friday, June 28th, and this is Friday 5 at 5 with the Denver Public Library. My name is Dodie. I'm a librarian at DPL Central Library, and in 15 minutes or less, we'll have you up to speed on 5 new titles out this month that we can't wait for you to read or listen to. Please note that new titles may not be added to Overdrive until after publication date, so if you don't see the titles in ebook or e-audio format, please check back. Join our bike club on a casual, slow ride through our city on Saturday, July 13th. The folks from Vamos will lead us on a fun, social 6 to 8 mile-per-hour tour of Lowry, Crestmore, Montclair, and Park Hill. We'll set off from the Schlesman Family Library and ride together. This is a no-drop ride. No one will be left behind. Learn safe connections from Lowry to Central Park, Stanley Marketplace, and more. Whether you're an experienced cyclist or just getting reacquainted with your bike, this ride is for you. We will also get some basic instruction on safety, gear, and minor repairs. This will be the second of 5 monthly rides around different areas of Denver. Details at the link below. Everyone is talking about AI, and that's okay. It can be really great for some things, but for others, not so much. Just so you know, DPL puts the person into our personalized reading list service. No algorithms, no AI, just the best reader's advisory team on either side of the Rockies that just wants to answer your question of, what do I read or listen to next? Fill out a simple form at the link below, which asks what format you like and what genres, subjects, or types of books you enjoy or don't. In about 10 working days, we'll get a list back to you via email completely curated by humans, with links to the catalog so you can place those holds lickety-split. Use it once, use it every week. Our PRL responders are ready and waiting for you. Available in both English and Spanish, for all ages. On to the books. Sounds Like a Plan by Pamela Samuels-Young and Dwayne Alexander Smith is a riveting blend of mystery, romance, thriller, and witty banter. Private investigators Jackson Jones and Mackenzie Cunningham operate their own firms in the City of Angels, aka LA, but their paths cross when both are hired by the same high-end white lawyer to find a missing adopted young woman before her mother dies in hospice care. The catch? The first to find her gets a $50,000 payout. Jackson and Mackenzie have totally different upbringings, which helps ratchet up the hot-cold tension between the characters. When it becomes obvious that someone is trying to set them up for murder, they are forced to work together to locate the missing woman alive. The chapters move back and forth between characters, letting readers get to know each of them from their own point of view. This is a fun, fast-paced read that would be perfect to pick up poolside. As Kirkus says, for readers who like their detective stories with a will they or won't they romantic dynamic. For a couple more stories where competitors turn into collaborators, give these a try. A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Poison by Kate Kavari is the first in her Saffron Everly mystery series. Joined by fellow researcher and potential romantic interest, Alexander Ashton, Saffron uses her knowledge of botany as she explores steamy greenhouses, dark gardens, and deadly poisons to clear her boss's name in a case of murder. Another option is One Wrong Move by Danny Petrie. Making amends for his criminal past, Christian McLeod has become one of the country's top security experts. But a string of heists brings attention from Andy Forster, an insurance investigator with her own checkered past. The two of them are drawn into a dangerous game with an opponent bent on revenge, and one wrong move could be the death of them both. There's another best-selling Korean novel on the way, and readers describe it as a warm hug. The Dowergut Dream Department Store by Maya Lee. This fantasy story follows a young girl named Penny who's recently got a job at the titular department store. Through her eyes, we discover a wonderfully whimsical world that is only open to the asleep. Readers will encounter an eccentric cast of characters who staff the store and the many dream designers who are like the pop stars of the town, famous for their dream creations. It gradually becomes clear that the department store exists in a dream world where sleepers arrive before they start dreaming to select their night's adventures or to be given helpful hints by those who work in the store. Readers are also treated to the results of the dreams out in the real world, where people suddenly remember forgotten facts or fall in love with new acquaintances. Heavy on delightful, magical admin, the book sees dreamers pay for their experiences with much sought-after emotions, which can then be used to craft ever more complex nighttime imaginings. The whole experience of spending time in this world is charmingly cozy and whimsical, and makes this the perfect read for those who love fantasy adventures and speculative fiction. Cassie likes her quiet life working in a bookstore in Manhattan. When one of her favorite customers dies in the shop one night, she finds a book in his possession with an inscription to her and the newfound ability that allows her to go through any door and come out wherever she wishes. This book is part of a powerful set of books that several seekers will stop at nothing to obtain. This fantastical time travel novel, The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown, has several interesting twists, including one final one that readers won't see coming. Monica Wood creates a fantastic world in How to Read a Book. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookstore casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. And by unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder, where nothing is as it seems. Pride Month may be over, but pride never stops. Searing and Vulnerable, K.B. Brookins' Pretty is an exploration of what it means to be a black trans male in the American South today. Told through prose essays and bursts of poetry, the memoir follows KB from childhood in Fort Worth to adulthood in Austin, Texas. Alongside personal experiences, KB meditates on a range of subjects such as hospital care for trans people, working in the nonprofit industry, and pursuing an MFA. Informed by KB Brookins' personal experiences as well as those of other black transgender masculine people, black queer studies, and cultural criticism, Pretty is concerned with the marginalization suffered by a unique American constituency whose condition is a world apart from that of cisgender, non-black, and non-masculine people. This is a memoir about coming to terms with instantly and always being perceived as other. Cactus Country is a lucid and tender coming-of-age memoir of class and gender expression. With an enjoyable ease, Zoe Bossiere vividly paints the Tucson desert, the colorful residents of the trailer park, which gives the memoir its title, and the search for understanding and acceptance. Exploring a young person's gender journey without prescriptiveness, but rather sensitivity and care. Throughout I heard her call my name, Lucy Sante, writing just 2 to 3 months after her transition at the age of 66, walks readers through the process and remains self-conscious about her emotional and chronological distance from other trans people. One 20-something friend, she notes, has come to serve as, quote, my trans mother. All transsexuals need one. The age reversal fit my golden age, trans puberty. Dean Job follows up on the case of the murderous Dr. Cream with a top-shelf work of true crime focused on love-struck gentleman thief Arthur Barry titled The Daring Jewel Heist of a Jazz-Age Rogue. A con artist since his teens, Barry returned to New York City after serving in World War I and used the city's social register to identify targets for a spate of jewel thefts from 1920 to 1927. During the same period that he was slipping in and out of second-story windows belonging to Manhattan's rich and famous, Barry met and fell in love with young widow Anna Blake. After the two were married, Blake began assisting Barry in his criminal activities. When authorities finally caught Barry in 1927, he confessed to several crimes Blake had committed in order to spare her jail time. While Barry was incarcerated, Blake was diagnosed with cancer and he staged a prison riot to escape and be with her until she died. After his subsequent arrest, return to prison, and parole, Barrie became a minor celebrity. Job tells Barrie's tale with both rigor and pathos, painting a tender portrait of a crook who was never fearsome, one victim who described him as charming. This is liable to steal readers' hearts. Filled with striking archival photos and a full-color design with full-color maps, Atlas of True Crime, a worldwide guide to murderers and thieves, kidnappers and conmen, will fascinate true crime buffs everywhere. Profiled are the apex serial killers, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, and David Berkowitz, the cannibals, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, and Albert Fish, and the spree killers like Richard Speck, Charles Whitman, and Charles Manson, plus murderers and cannibals from around the world. Rena Peterson moved to Dallas in 1970 for her first reporting job. On one overnight shift, she saw a dispatch about a thief known as the King of Diamonds. In at least 40 burglaries over a decade, His Majesty had stolen several $1 million worth of jewels from Dallas's elite. She writes about this Cary Grant to catch a thief, mysterious criminal, in The King of Diamonds, The Search for the Elusive Texas Jewel Thief. Mae Townsend is getting married. That would normally be cause for celebration, but the thought of dealing with her complicated family has her on edge. Mae's parents split when she was young, and she yearns for connection with her late father's side of the family, who didn't approve of his relationship with her mother. And now she's trying to put all that aside so she can marry her fiancé Connor, who hails from a wealthy family of white wedding planners. As they plan the big day, complete with a deeply millennial donut wall, Mae recognizes that her wedding might be her only opportunity to heal her family's decades-long estrangement and get to the bottom of some lingering family secrets. A family tragedy spurs Mae to head to North Carolina in search of answers, and when she arrives, she tries to build connection the best way she knows how, by cooking for her estranged relatives. It's, of course, much more complicated than that, and as Mae soon learns, she has to hone in on perfecting her grandmother's famed mac and cheese in order to get a pass. Mae gets a crash course in her family's distinct dynamic, and like a good meal, don't be surprised if you finish Shauna Robinson's The Townsend Family Recipe for Disaster all in one sitting. In Long After We Are Gone, author Tara Shelton Harris tells a story from alternating points of view from 4 siblings. This emotional story about power of family and letting go follows Cece, Junior, Nance, and Angeline, each fighting their own personal battles as they return home to save their ancestral land and themselves after the death of their father. The New Earth by Jess Rowe is a timely read. For 15 years, the Wilcoxes have been a family in name only. Though never the picture of happiness, they once seemed like a typical white Jewish clan from the Upper West Side. But in the early 2000s, 2 events ruptured the relationships between them. First, Naomi revealed to her children that her biological father was actually black. In the aftermath, college-age daughter Bering left home to become a radical peace activist in Palestine's West Bank, where she was killed by an Israeli army sniper. Now in 2018, Winter Wilcox is getting married, and her only demand is that her mother, father, and brother emerge from their self-imposed isolations and gather once more. And in case you missed it, The Allure of the Multiverse, Extra Dimensions, Other Worlds, and Parallel Universes by Paul Halpern draws on centuries of disputation and deep vision from luminaries like Nietzsche, Einstein, and the creators of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Halpern, a physicist, reveals the multiplicity of multiverses that scientists have imagined to make sense of our reality. He tells the epic story of how science became besotted with the multiverse and the controversies that ensued. The questions that brought scientists to this point are big and deep. Is reality such that if anything can happen, it must happen? How does quantum mechanics choose the outcomes of its apparently random processes? And why is the universe habitable? Each question quickly leads to the multiverse. Whether you're a curious novice or a seasoned science enthusiast, this book offers a cogent exploration of the maddening infinities our mind can create. Even if you're not a nerd, there's a lot to enjoy in Accidental Astronomy, How Random Discoveries Shape the Science of Space by Chris Linto. Linto explores the ways in which happenstance shapes how we investigate the sky. To catch a glimpse of a comet, asteroid, or even a sign of alien life, we must be in the right place at the right time. For any astronomer, regardless of their experience or resources, the first step to discovery is the same: to stare at the sky and wait. Lisa Kaltenegger proves extraterrestrial life is worth exploring with Alien Earth, the new science of planet hunting in the cosmos, which explains for lay audiences the young field of astrobiology and describes intriguing and potentially habitable worlds that have only recently been discovered around distant stars. She meticulously outlines what we actually know about planets, their habitability, and the evolution of life on Earth, which, as she points out, took its jolly time to produce anything as elaborate as a clam, much less a spacefaring technological species. That's all for this month. Thank you for tuning in to Denver Public Library's Friday 5 at 5, and we hope you enjoy these great reads and listens. Check out or place a hold on these titles and a whole lot more right now at denverlibrary.org. Link below. Tune in next month for new recommended reads. Bye-bye.